Hey guys, welcome back to the Untitled Culture podcast. We're all back. Joe, Francesco, Danny, we're all here. What's going on, boys? You good?
What's up, Enzo?
Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao ragazzi.
Well, we're all back. We know Francesco and Joe are in good spirits. Obviously, we're recording this, by the way, at halftime of the Atalanta-Ajax game, so we're not going to know the result of this match until after the podcast, so you might hear some goal reactions during the podcast too. We don't know. I'm watching it right now in the background. So Juve-Barcelona ended yesterday, and Juve-Torino, which was a fascinating ending with Bonucci there at the end. Then we also had Lazio yesterday, yesterday for us, who made it to the Champions League round of 16 knockout stages for the first time since the 1999-2000 season, I believe. And then Napoli continued winning. Also going to talk about Milan winning without Zlatan once again, and always finding a way to win. And Lukaku, I want to talk about a little bit because he's been fantastic. And also Maresca, who was the official for the Roma-Sassuolo match. I got a couple things to say about him. But to start off here, we'll let Joe start off, and then Francesco can jump in with Juve-Barca and Juve-Torino. Start off with Juve-Torino, though. Talk about that one first. Joe?
Yeah, with Juve, it's been a crazy week. We started with the Torino game, and we really were getting nothing going there. We couldn't get a shot on target. We couldn't really create any chances. And we did get lucky at the end of the game because of how tired Torino were. We got a lucky goal with McKennie. Actually, first Quadrado scored, and it was ruled offside. But in my opinion, it shouldn't have been ruled offside. I think it should have been a good goal, but we kept battling. And Weston McKennie got us on the board there to tie us up 1-1, and then late Bonucci with the goal. Throughout the game, I think we really played a very poor game, and I don't think we really deserved the result at the end there. I think that Torino played much better in the first half, and they played great defense in the second, and we were lucky to get away with the 3 points. But then we had to look forward to the Barcelona game, and going into the Barcelona game, I really didn't expect much. I just wanted to really watch because of the Ronaldo-Messi rivalry. I didn't expect a big performance from Juve, especially from that Torino game. I thought it was going to be a tie game, and if Juve would win, it would be either 1-0 or a 2-1 victory. 10 minutes in the game, I saw different. I saw different. McKennie and Arthur should be the starting midfield for the rest of the season. I don't want to see Rabiot or Bentancur start big games anymore. I think that when those two are together, the other team really struggles. And we got lucky there with the pen at the beginning. Ronaldo made it 1-0. And then Weston McKennie, he's been brilliant all season. People thought we just bought him just to get the jersey sales from the USA, but he's been our best midfield all season. He's only 22 years of age, and he's really looking as a good prospect, not only for Juve but for the national team of USA. It was 2-0. We were really bossing the game. We didn't give Barca any opportunities. Throughout the game, I really thought it was like a training match for us. The only shots they had on target were from Messi. And even those shots were just right at Buffon. He didn't really have to move anywhere. And I actually have to give credit to the Buffon. Even though he's 42 years old, he had to adjust to the new style of the game, not only this year but the previous years, because he's not as fast as he used to be. His positioning is so much better. He knows where the ball is going, and he knows how to make the save when he needs to. He really doesn't give away any rebounds, and yesterday just proved that he's still one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And like I said, for the last couple of years, I think he should be our starting goalie, not only because he's one of the greats of the world has ever seen, but just because how he commands the team throughout the game. If you really were listening, you could hear Buffon telling them where to position, where to stand, where to make those tackles, and where to defend the attack of Barcelona. And just because of Buffon, I think that if Szczesny was in there, maybe one of those shots would have went in. But we were lucky that Messi didn't get any other help from his attackers. It was just really him yesterday. And from the first game that we versed Barca to the second game, it was night and day. The first game was no De Ligt, no Ronaldo. And I really think that if we had those two players versus them the first game, I think we wouldn't have lost. We would have either tied or even won that first game. But going into this game, we had to win 3-0. We couldn't have won 2-0. We couldn't have won 1-0. We had to win 3-0 to be first in the group, and we did that. I have to give credit to Juve. I think this was our best game this season, one of our best games in the last couple of years. Defense, we didn't give them nowhere to go. We played better defense than them. Our midfield were better than them, and our attack was better than them. Ronaldo with the 2 goals. He's been incredible this whole season. I have nothing else to say about him. 35 years old, 36 years old, doesn't matter. He's our best player, and in my opinion, the best player in the world. There was one opportunity where Messi had the ball and he went by Bonucci very quickly, and Ronaldo was all the way back to get the ball. Or else, if Ronaldo wasn't there, Messi would have been 1-1 with Buffon, and we could have finished second in the group. So Ronaldo, not much else to say about him. He's just been world class ever since he's been to Juve. Pretty much his whole career has been class. And then at the end we got another penalty, and it was right before we stole a penalty. It was a handball. I think he should have been sent off too. It should have been a yellow card, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We scored. He really misses the penalties. So a big game for Ronaldo. Right before I knew Ronaldo, he always pops off when the game matters, when there's a big game. I think this has been our biggest game of the season. And when he's in the line, he knows how to perform, and he comes out to perform. 2 goals, and he played an incredible match. Morata played an incredible match. We're top of the group, and now, people say, yeah, you could finish first, second, it really doesn't matter. But, for us, it really does matter. Instead of facing a team like Bayern Munich, Man City, or Liverpool, we're now facing teams like Sevilla, Porto, or Ajax, or Shakhtar, to beat that team and then go into the last 8 and then, beating a team of the last 8 and then going to the last 4, anything could happen. I think that if we really stay healthy this year and we perform like we did yesterday, I think we could beat any team in the world. The only 2 teams I worry about are Man City and Bayern Munich. But other than that, I think Juve could beat any other team in the world. Not much else to say. Big win yesterday. Pirlo out-coached Koeman. The team outplayed Barcelona. And, Juve really, I hope they continue like this, but knowing Juve this weekend, they'll struggle against Genoa. That's just how the Juve is. But big win yesterday to win 3-0 away from home to top the group, with Ronaldo scoring 2 goals against Messi, was a big statement from us. And hopefully we continue this way.
Yeah, well said by Joe. In terms of my opinions and my facts, the game against Torino, on my toes. It should have been a game we could have walked around them like we usually do every season and win a nice, comfortable 2-3-0. But we made it a very emotional game, and we got those last minute goals from McKennie and Bonucci, the un leone from fucking Juve, the fighting spirit, the grinta, the capitano of Juve, Chiellini, buddy, I love you, but Bonucci's my captain. And I think that game was such a statement win, especially for McKennie. I think that gave him his confidence for the Barcelona game. And when I saw the lineups against Barca, I knew Pirlo was playing backers against us. Barca's lineup was good, but Juve's lineup was even better. It was tactically stronger. I think this is the lineup. I think Pirlo finally found the lineup and the formation to use for the rest of the season, especially in Champions League, because the way we played was phenomenal. The only thing I would change about it is maybe instead of Ramsey starting, maybe give Rabiot to start instead of Ramsey. But Ramsey played exceptionally well yesterday. You gotta give him credit. In terms of the goals, everyone has controversies about the first goal, the penalty. I thought it was a penalty right away. People need to understand when a professional athlete, a human being, is running 30 kilometers plus an hour, and they're going full speed, side by side with another player who's matching that speed, and the player throws his arms in front of the other player, you're bound to fall. It's basic physics. So I feel like that's a clear and obvious penalty, and I'm glad the ref clocked onto it and called it. Same with the Lenglet handball, punched the ball out of the way of McKennie's path. So I'm glad the ref was very smart yesterday, unlike the first ref in the first leg. But nonetheless, we got the result done. McKennie, you could see the grinta in him. When you heard him, his voice after he scored the goal, he was yelling, "Die, die." He was very, very emotional, and you could see how much that goal meant to him and the rest of the team. Same thing for Bonucci when he scored, which was deemed offside, unfortunately. I think I lost my voice yesterday. I think I blew Enzo's speakers up yesterday too, as I was on the phone with him when Bonucci scored. You could just see how happy the team was, and they were hungry for more and more. My biggest takeaway of that game was we saw the difference between a boy and a man. De Jong, a Dutch boy from Barcelona, who's shadowed in the limelights of Camp Nou, and De Ligt, a man who's leading this Juventus team to greatness. Koeman, I'm still shocked he has a job. That guy, I thought he'd be sacked by now. But before the game, I told everyone that Juve was gonna win. I said we were gonna top the group. It was gonna be history in the making. I personally thought we were gonna win 8-0 to top the group. But it wasn't that case, and we still topped the group, winning that 3-0. It was a great victory. Buffon, I think he should start every Champions League game because he has the factor for the big games that Szczesny just doesn't have. Szczesny's a great keeper, but he's not Buffon level, and he'll never be Buffon level. I think it was an incredible game from us. Barca, they played like shit. Messi, the guy, I don't care what anyone says, Messi's not a leader. He doesn't deserve the captain's armband. I think it should go to Sergio Busquets. I don't think Messi has the ability to lead a team. He's not a leader. He's a great player, but he's not a captain. Bonucci's a better captain than Messi will ever be, and I'll stand by that always and forever. I think Messi's just unmotivated for the team. He doesn't want to play for Barca, and when we saw that yesterday, he kept throwing temper tantrums and on the field, on the floor. He was on the floor more than he was on the pitch. He wanted to keep shooting the ball, and he kept taking stupid shots because Buffon wasn't letting him in. Bonucci had Messi in his back pocket, and it was great to see. This is the greatest game I've ever seen of Juventus while I was living. Obviously, I've watched back the 1996 World Cup countless times, but since I was in 1996 Champions League, my apologies, but I wasn't alive back then, and now I am. And I think this beats the Atletico Madrid game. I think this beats the Barca 2017 game. It beats so many games, and I as a Juve fan, I'm just incredibly proud of this team, and I hope we gotta continue. The round of 16 draw is coming up soon, and I really hope we get Atletico Madrid. That's the only team I want right now, and I'm really glad for Juve.
Well, well said. Covered everything there when it comes to Juve and Joe and Francesco. Obviously a big win. Coming first in your group, in my opinion, is a very, I think people just don't care about it, but I think it's very important because obviously you don't want to get because I know, Joe, you like to say a lot of the times that, if you want to win, you got to beat the best, but I think sometimes, if you can avoid the better teams early on, then I think it's for the best, but Joe, you don't
Exactly.
You still got to beat the best at some point, but try and avoid them for as long as you can.
Yeah. Hopefully we got a Porto or someone quick, and then after that we could start getting the big teams. Round of 8.
I want Atletico. Small team that people think are good.
We already bet them, so we don't have to.
That's why I beat them again easily.
But going back to what Francesco said, I want to even give praise to De Ligt. He's been an incredible player. I think the best young defender in the world. The leadership he has. He's only 20 years old. He's the future captain of Juve, hopefully, if he stays. But when he's in the team, it's just different. He's a brick wall in the back. And the only problem I have is I wish Chiellini was healthy to see Chiellini, Bonucci, and De Ligt all start.
Yeah.
Be a brick wall, but Danilo's been good all season. So I just want to praise De Ligt also. But, big win from Juve yesterday.
And for all the Juve fans who are hating on Cuadrado and Bonucci this season, I want you to cry in your bedrooms and put some respect on their names, because Bonucci's the captain, he's the leader of this team, and he's proving every Juventini wrong. Same with Cuadrado.
Yeah, Cuadrado's been good this year. 8 assists in 13 games. He does 200 crosses a game, but two or one of them are always an assist, so it's good.
A big save by Golini there in the Atalanta game. I just had a heart attack. It was offside though.
I think it was offside. Yeah.
It was offside though, yeah.
Oh, is he injured again?
But I think De Ligt, even when he retires, he can maybe go play volleyball or something too. Be pretty good in the future. So, but now moving on, something I want to bring up here. Lukaku obviously saw Inter to beat Bologna, and we talked about it last podcast how Inter's been receiving a lot of, I don't want to say hate, but criticism, I think is a better word.
Yeah.
And they've actually been doing pretty good. Like when you look at the record, second place in the league. They've been on a decent run of form now in the Serie A. They have one loss, I believe, in the Serie A in total. So, they've been looking good. And a big part of that is Lukaku. Lukaku,
Yeah.
when he first came from, I think he came for 70 million, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I
I think
believe
it
it
was
was
like
70.
maybe 60, 65.
60,
So, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was
65.
like a
65, yeah.
it was like a good like value for him, which
Yeah,
was
around
it's
there. Yeah.
respectable because he's on a given day he's probably a top 10, maybe some can debate a top 5 striker in the world on his day,
100%.
and
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
just. And we said we go back to a few podcasts ago when we were talking about Inter, and you can even say we were kind of criticizing them as well. A big part of our reasoning why they're not doing too well is because they don't have a guy like Lukaku up top. Martinez is a really good striker when Lukaku's there, but when Lukaku's not there, he's easily one of the worst strikers in all of Serie A. I'd rather have Pavolotti over Martinez sometimes.
Yeah, I'll
And
take Palacio.
yeah, like it's just like I think that's why Martinez is, in my opinion, too. He's overrated. Like he needs a guy like Lukaku to be a good. If Lukaku doesn't play, then it's better off Martinez just stays on the bench. And I feel like Conte now with Lukaku, Inter's attack looks much better. The midfield play looks much better now. And it doesn't help too that Bariella's hurt too. So once he comes back, who knows what this Inter team can become.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that the only reason Inter are getting that hate this year is because of the Champions League. I think they've been good in Serie A. And I think that fans just want them to keep progressing in the Champions League. We're going to see today if they win and they go to the round of 16. But, if they lose, it's another Europa League. And, for teams like Inter, a team like Man United, for teams like that, going to Europa League, it's not a good thing. And even Conte getting paid 12 mil a year, getting paid 12 mil a year to go to Europa League every year is not even a good thing. So hopefully they try to get a result today, and if they don't, then I think that Conte is going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a question I want to ask you guys: do you think Lukaku is underrated? Now, in my
Yeah.
opinion, quickly, when it comes to Serie A, I don't think he's underrated. I think if you're a Serie A fan, you know how good Lukaku is. But I think as a whole, like football as a whole, and like the whole world and all of Europe and the big teams, I think he is underrated because nobody really talks about him.
Yeah.
I think he's up there with Lewandowski, to be
I don't
honest.
think he's underrated. I just think people forgot how good he actually is. I feel like people still remember him his last year at United, and you can't judge a player based off their past. You have to judge them based on what they're doing now. And I feel like now that Lukaku, but more and more people around the league are saying, "Oh, this guy's actually a world class striker." I feel like now more people are going to be watching him, especially today because it's a huge match for Inter. And if Lukaku performs like he can, I feel like a lot of people will put some respect on his name again. And I feel like he should get the respect that everyone should get. He deserves. On a given day, he's really world class striker. He's physical. He's fast too, and he has a cannon of a shot when he's in the box. And he's just a presence you have to like look out for. I just feel like he's going to be a big factor today for Inter if they want to progress either to Europa League or to the knockout stages. He's got to be that main guy, and I feel like he could be today.
Yeah, Francesco, what do you think about Lukaku? Would you consider him underrated?
Yeah, I think he's criminally underrated. I think, like Enzo said, in the Serie A, everyone knows how good of a striker he is, how lethal of a striker he is. But outside of the Serie A, it's sad to say, but the soccer world revolves around the Premier League, the most overrated league in the world, in my opinion. If you perform shit in that league, you're automatically deemed a shit player and a horrible player. I mean, we've seen so many cases like this. Smalling performed bad for United. Lukaku performed bad, Mkhitaryan, Morata. There's so many players who perform bad in the Premier League because it's such
Bakayoko.
Bakayoko, so many players, and then they come to the Serie A, they come to a real league who actually has technique, not just a bunch of guys running and physically their way to the goal or running past defenders where no one knows how to defend in that league. So I think when they come to a tactical league and actually practice with actual coaches, not some guy named Ole Gunnar Solskjaer who everyone says is some Manchester United hero who's struggling in Europa League now with United. or Frank Lampard, the most overrated player and most overrated manager in English football. So I think when you have a league like that,
we're not gonna have an English fan base at the end of this podcast. They're just gonna hate us, guys.
Well, when you have a league like that, and then you come to a real league,
all of us. I actually respect the Premier League a lot. I really think it's a fascinating league.
I think it's a good league. I don't think it's the best league in the world. I think it's way overrated than what it is.
It's not,
and that's because of media.
You can't just blame the league. It's the way. It's the players too. There are some players that are meant for the league, and there's some players that are not. Look at guys like if you're slow in the league, like guys like Jorginho, Bakayoko, Mkhitaryan, they're not as fast as they once were.
They're not fast players.
You can agree with me with Mkhitaryan. He's not a guy that can sprint the whole field. He's more of a guy that he creates plays.
He builds a play.
He builds plays. And those are the guys that can fit into leagues like Serie A, say even La Liga. But in the Premier League, if you're not fast with the ball, you're not making fast decisions, you're not shit, but you're not playing up to standards in that league. Yeah, and it's just sometimes like players like that don't succeed in the Premier League. And then that's why, like, a lot of times they don't even play. And then when they come to leagues like Serie A and other leagues, they stand out because their style fits more of the way they're played in Serie A than they are in the Premier League. So I just think it's not like an overrated league like you said. I just think the player, it all depends on the player and their style of play. That's the key contributor to playing in leagues such as Premier League and Serie A.
Yeah, every league has their different play style, but the way the media portrays it, everything's like when you look on DAZN, for example. If I'm on DAZN and I see a Premier League game at halftime, they have a whole halftime studio. The way the media portrays it is the Premier League's the best league in the world, and right now they have a bigger fan base. They have great managers in there. They have great players in there. They have great teams in there. But when those teams are losing to Serie A teams, when those teams are losing to La Liga teams, Bundesliga teams, Liga 1 teams, no one talks about it. But when you have a player like Lukaku, who's very lethal, who was great for Everton, goes to United, didn't perform because United it's like a graveyard for players. And he goes out of United, comes to Inter, he performs amazing. He takes Inter out of the graveyard and brings them into almost Europa League's glory from last season to Scudetto contenders again. And then the Premier League, just the fan base, the media, you have professional pundits who are getting paid to critique players, and they're not giving the respect to any Serie A player. Like on the topic of Atalanta, Papu Gomez, he's probably one of the most underrated players in world football right now. How come not one Premier League pundit is talking about him? Because they don't actually watch the sport. They just look and see the Premier League games of a bunch of fast players running and a bunch of strong players running. So I think in that aspect, the Premier League's wildly overrated. But I think Lukaku is much better than what the Premier League has to offer. He fits the Premier League stigma. He's fast, he's strong, he's physical, he's a good finisher. But he was just on a shit team of Manchester United. And so when people need to realize that when a player is doing so much for one club, you have to give him respect. Lukaku, Mkhitaryan, Smalling, Morata, everyone said Morata was going to be shit, including myself at Juventus, and he's back home, and the same thing's going to happen with Pogba when he comes back home in January or the summer transfer window.
Yeah, and quickly, I'm looking at Lukaku's stats here. I know stats don't tell the whole story, but Lukaku scored 42 goals in 96 games for United. It's not even that bad, so I don't know why people are
you know what it was
terrible.
Because his first, he was there, I think, 2-3 years. I can recall, I think 2-3 years he was there. And his first season, he was performing really well. It's his last season you have to look at that he wasn't himself. He was missing too many chances that he usually finishes. He wasn't playing up to his standards. And that's why, like, they were deeming him old. Maybe Lukaku's lost it. And sometimes a player like Lukaku, in this case, a move to like a team like Inter helps your career. I've seen a lot of players who haven't been playing good in the different leagues, but then they come to Serie A and they become stars. Like, look at guys like Morata. He's easily becoming one of the league's best strikers.
Yeah.
Guys like Ibrahimovic still has it. The guy is 38?
39,
39.
38, 39.
39, and he's playing like he's 24 again. Like, it all depends. Hey, who knows? Maybe the food in Italy is actually as good as we think it is.
Atalanta almost scored.
Yeah, I saw that as.
I'm just seeing it. Yeah, ooh.
Yeah, just a map quick, one more thing. Like, he had a contribution in 57% of his games at United. That's really good.
That's good for a striker. At least, even a striker, that's really good.
And I don't know if you guys remember, but I know Roma fans will. Back in 2013, we were heavily linked to Lukaku. We almost signed him when he was at Everton, and he was amazing at Everton. I remember watching him in the Europa League.
He was incredible.
Monster.
I think he had like 8 goals in Europa League or something in 9 games or something like that. I don't remember. But there's one year he went off. I remember watching him. He had like the dreadlocks, I think, back then. Oh no, that's when he shaved them off. That was at Chelsea. He had dreadlocks. But yeah, Lukaku, he's a great player. He's very underrated. But now moving on here, that's a little the Prem breakdown. I just want to talk about Lazio real quick. I don't know if you guys watched the game against Club Brugge yesterday, but it might be the biggest robbery of the century I've ever seen. They're up 2-1 against a 10-man Club Brugge team at the Olimpico, and Brugge gets one back. And they had 10 men for more than half the game or something like that.
Yeah, they had 10 men for
Yeah,
or
so
50 minutes at least. I think in the 40th they got sent off.
Yeah, so it was more than half the game. They had 10 men. And they were dominating Lazio, especially in that second half.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm a Roma fan, so I don't want Lazio to win. And I think it was the 92nd minute, they smashed the crossbar. Oh my god, I was getting ready to celebrate.
It was I was watching it because I saw it was 2-1. When I saw it was 2-1. No, it's a 2-2, I think, right? Or is it?
In a match?
Yeah, I think it was 2-2 at the time.
It was
2-1.
2-1, yeah.
Wow,
so,
what a hit.
Or 2-2 I didn't watch.
It was 2-2 at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was 2-2. Yeah, I was watching because I put it on at the end of the game, so I'm pretty sure it was 2-2 at that point. And I was watching, and when I saw Pepe Reina, I was like, he's gonna miss it. Was I right? He missed it, but he ended up getting a foul, which, in my opinion, it wasn't a foul. The goalie missed the ball he had it and he dropped it. It looked like one of the Cowboys receivers dropping a football catch. And when I saw I think it was the left back, or no clue on Club Brugge, when he hit the bar, I go, oh my god, Lazio just avoided disaster. That crossbar, they gotta be kissing it for the next 20 years until they make the
Lazio's always been a lucky. Lazio's always been a lucky team.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Even against Juve at the end of the game,
they always get the light, and then even their group, go to their group,
Dortmund, Club
Brugge,
Brugge,
and Zenit.
And Zenit, yeah. Oh, come on. And what's it called? I think they had 3 90th minute winners this Serie A? Caicedo or something like that.
Caicedo,
yeah.
One was in the Champions League too at the end, so.
And then I know one of them was against Juve, the Correa. Gotta give him credit for that play. But even too, it seems like every game Lazio plays, they have to get a penalty. It's like they're guaranteed a penalty before the game even starts.
Yeah, Tito's probably pulling some strings behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on there.
Who knows?
But...
Yeah. I didn't watch the full game. I don't know if that was a penalty, but I just saw notification, Immobile penalty, and it seems like every 2 games, Immobile is scoring a penalty.
Yeah, that's what he does best. But yeah, Lazio, they're on to the round of 16. Who knows where they're going to play? I hope they get Liverpool.
I think Bayern or something, just something.
That would be nice, because as a Roma fan, they seem to talk a lot when we lose 7-1 and all this stuff, but it's been 20 years since they made the knockout stages, so let's see what they do now. We'll see who's laughing, but yeah, whatever. They made it first time since the 1999-2000 season, like I said before, to the knockout stages, and we'll see what they do. The draw, I believe, is when, January, February? The draw?
I think,
well, the draw is December. The round 16 draw is next week, December 14th.
Oh, shoot, yeah. That was back in the day. So
I thought it was Friday, to be honest, because
usually it should be. Yeah, I agree with you, Ben. But I looked it up, and it actually is December 14th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's coming up. We'll have
6 a.m. Eastern. Can't wait to watch it. Atletico Madrid, we're coming for you.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll do a quick little podcast. Oh my god. Oh, Atalanta almost scored.
Oh, I just saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll probably make a little podcast just about that draw, maybe like a 10-15 minute reaction. We'll see. I think it'd be a good idea if you guys are down.
Yeah.
But
Or even like a live reaction could be a
it's
possibility.
like 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Eastern. I'm already up for it. I'm gonna be watching it. So
I'll be up. I don't know if I'll be awake mentally.
I have a question for Francesco.
I'll probably be going to bed at that time.
Yeah, Joe.
Francesco, now that United is in Europa League and you could get players from Europa League teams to play in the Champions League, if you're Juve, would you go for Pogba in January?
100%. I don't care where you're getting this money from. Get it from the Italian mafia. Get it from Fiat. I don't care where this money is coming. But they can't. United can't demand 100 million for Pogba because they know that's ridiculous. I think maybe the most they could ask for is 50-60 million. Give them Bentancur and some cash, and we'll be good.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is
it's not FIFA career mode. They have.
Well, no, United are interested in Bentancur. It's not like it's a player that they don't want.
They're also interested in Bernardeschi. See how that happened.
How much did Pogba go for? Was he 100 mil from Juve to United?
105 mil.
Yeah, they're not selling for any less. They're like Lazio United. Lazio, Savic cost 500 million to Lazio. Milinkovic Savic.
Yeah, but they can't.
I can't be saying anything because
they will, bro.
I can't be saying anything because half our players are overpriced as well.
But they also don't want Pogba leaving on a free, so they know that they have to sell him. Juve know that. Paratici will play the waiting game. He'll wait until Pogba is going on a free transfer. Pogba already said he's not extending his contract. So Paratici will wait for a free transfer if he needs to.
But doesn't his contract expire in 2022?
2022,
yeah. That's why Paratici doesn't care. He'll wait.
I'd get him in January because I think now that we got first in the group, I think that we could get not an easy team because no team's easy in Champions League, but a lesser team than what we could have got. Bringing in Pogba could boost our chances in Champions League. Maybe a loan we could even get him for a loan with option to buy. We could do that a swap. If I'm Juve, I'd do it now that United's in Europa League.
We could play a 3-man midfield of Pogba, McKennie, and Arthur.
Yeah, give them Bentancur. We don't need him anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, it's getting crazy now. But, yeah, it's possible we can see Pogba Juventus. I'm sure he'd like to return there. I think there's like a video of him doing keep-ups in Juve shorts. I could be wrong, like a couple months ago. I think, Joel, you sent it to our group chat.
Yeah.
I think he was even training in a Juve top. So
yeah, something like that.
I think he does want to come. I think that even him looking at Morata, seeing how bad he was, and then, just coming back to where he likes to play could do to you. And I think that the same thing will happen with Pogba if he would come. I think that...
Especially with his best friend, Dybala. Dybala, Morata, and Pogba get that trinity back in 2015.
I mean, if he's still there.
Yeah, Dybala. If he keeps playing the way he is, put Dybala in the trade for Pogba. I don't care at this point.
I could see him going to PSG, Dybala. PSG and Neymar and Mbappe next year. I wouldn't be surprised.
I could see Pogba going to PSG if I'm being honest in the summer. If he doesn't come to Juve.
Yeah, he could.
I think the only team Pogba will go to are either Real, PSG, or Juve. I don't think.
I think Real's out of the question based off how they're playing right now. They're so shit. I don't think he'd want to play there.
They might be in Europa League too. There's some good games today. Teams like Real could be in Europa League. Atletico could be in. If Atletico lose to Red Bull, they're in Europa League. Inter could be in Europa League. So all these big teams go to Europa League. The Europa League is going to slowly become the Champions League soon.
I hope Atletico win and we get them in the round of 16. We embarrass them for another year in a row.
Quickly here, I'm going to bring up Roma-Sassuolo played. Obviously, two sides who were in form for most of the year. Coming into this game, I don't know if you guys watched it, but...
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, it's very interesting from an officiating standpoint.
Yeah, very controversial.
Obviously, both had 2 goals disallowed, rightfully so. The Dzeko one, I'm going to sound biased, obviously, here, but... Okay, it's one of those ones where, as a Roma fan, you're annoyed that they didn't give the goal, but... I'd also see if I was a Sassuolo fan, if they gave the goal, I'd be annoyed as well. So, it's one of those where you can't really tell, like, the replay is tough to see, but basically what happened is Dzeko went in to tap the ball, or I don't know what he was doing. And you can't really tell if he got the player or the ball first. It's kind of hard to read, but whatever, it doesn't bother me, that one. The one thing that bothers me is before that happened, Pellegrini had the ball. He had the front post wide open, and then I saw his idea. He tried playing to Dzeko at a better angle, but he took too long, and then Dzeko ended up having two guys on him, and the pass itself was bad, so it was slow when they got up. It was a mess, but Pellegrini, you have to shoot that if you're from there. And we've seen in the past, it's not a one-time thing. He's very hesitant to shoot the ball, and sometimes he'll take shots from like 50 yards out for no reason, and then when he's right in front of the net, he just can't score. He won't shoot it at all. So Pellegrini, but besides that, I think he had a great game. He's one of the best on the pitch. He's been having a good year, Pellegrini, I gotta say. Just that one play there was really irritating. Obviously, himself and the fans aren't having a good moment right now, but the club came out and defended him, which I kind of don't like because we're just babying him. Like, come on. The guy could take some criticism. I know he's getting some personal attacks at him, but I don't know. To me, the club coming out kind of annoyed me, but what can you do? They really want to keep him, and they want to keep him happy, and they really believe he could be someone for the future, like kind of like a De Rossi, which I don't see him being at that level, but I could see him staying his whole career. I won't be surprised. But yeah, that game as a whole was very irritating. Roma could have had a pen, should have been a pen. I don't care what anyone says. His arm was not in a natural position. He blocked the cross from Spinazzola. That has to be a pen. All day, every day.
I agree.
That was annoying. And the Pedro thing, he got a red card. The first foul was not a yellow. You do not give a yellow for that. That's a warning. I've never seen a yellow given so quickly.
Yeah, I was shocked.
I think we had four yellows we had in the first half. He wasn't giving any warnings, this ref, and they weren't even, like, obviously, okay, Pedro's stupid for the second yellow. You know you're already on a yellow. That's obviously going to be another one, stopping the fast break. But you do not give a yellow for that first foul. It's so stupid, and we're down 10 men. But you know what? Going into this match, if you told me we're going to draw, I'd be very annoyed. But coming out of it, I'm very pleased with the team. We had 10 men against a strong Sassuolo team. Our defense was fantastic, like it's been all year, ever since we went to 3 at the back towards the end of last year. And I'm very pleased with the team. We outplayed Sassuolo of 10 men. We actually played better with the 10 men somehow. Mkhitaryan had a couple of chances, and we just couldn't put it away, but I'm happy the team, we showed grit. Usually, just a couple of years ago, coming off that loss to Napoli, we get folded this game, 10 men, so okay, probably going to lay down for Sassuolo, let them get the win. But this year, we're a different team, you can tell. It's not the same Roma, and 10 men against Sassuolo side is not easy, and I'm happy how they did. Sassuolo didn't really have a good chance, so it's the offside goal, but that's about it. No matter who we have on the pitch defensively, we seem to find a way to get a good result. We had Cristante playing center back these past couple of games, and you know what? He's kind of playing like a rip-off Bonucci, just playing these long balls from out the back out of his ass. But yeah, Cristante, I don't want him to see him back there anymore, obviously, not where he should be. But for the job he's done, I'm happy. He hasn't done great, he hasn't done bad, just been holding it down. And to buy a player for 30 million, like, it kind of reminds me of Cuadrado in the way how he's not really a right back, he's a winger.
Yeah.
But for a player to play out of his position, that takes a lot of ego, or lack of ego, better to say like that. But it's not easy to tell a player who plays center attacking mid his whole career to say, hey, you're going to play center back for like 2 months. And he did it, and he did it well. Yeah, that's why he's like Cuadrado. So for Cristante to do that, I gotta respect him. We've been throwing him all over the pitch, anywhere but his actual position since he's arrived. So obviously he's not the best of players, but he does his job, and yeah, I gotta respect him for that. Oh no, oh my, what a save, Golini!
Wow,
that should have been a foul on the bill.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Atalanta, Golini's a great keeper as well. Yeah, great from Atalanta there.
Oh wow, good football by Ajax.
But yeah, back to the Roma game. Yeah, I'm happy with the result. I wanted to win, but considering the circumstances, 10 men against Sassuolo, I'll take the draw. Good from us. We play CSK Sofia tomorrow, which a game doesn't really matter. We already won the group, so probably going to play half the Primavera. I know Milanese is starting, so that's going to be good. But yeah, done with Roma there. That's all covered. Napoli, Dan, you want to talk about Napoli Crotone?
Yeah. So I don't even know where to begin. It was just one of those matches that I was honestly surprised a little bit, but I also did call it on the podcast. I knew Napoli were going to win this match just because of the way like they are now, their new character, the way like that we bounced back after a horrendous result against AZ. I don't care what anyone has to say. One of the worst matches Napoli's ever played. Maybe one of the worst second halves I've ever seen a club play in a while. And against Crotone, which about Crotone. Oh yes, they're a bottom feeder, but to get a good, they've been playing not bad this season. They're actually they're better than what people think they are, and they got some sparks players here and there. But Napoli were really crisp. They were pressing well. Insigne's goal at the first half was incredible, and his vision for Lozano's goal reminded me of the way Napoli used to play when Calcio was on the right, where he would make that back post run and Insigne would pick him out. Yeah, Saudi ball, and he would pick him out, and most of the time it would lead to a goal, and then a few other times it would lead to a miss or save by the goalie. But this one, good finish by Lozano. Even though Crotone were down to 10 men, it was still a beautiful ball, a beautiful worked goal. And then the third goal was just out of nowhere. Mertens came in the second half for Zielinski, who had another strong game to him. He's been playing really well since we put him at that cam position. And beautiful football from Napoli. Good flick on to Diego Demme, who actually took a really nice shot from outside the box, low bottom corner. For me, I feel like Demme and Insigne were two man of the match, or easily could have been man of the match. Demme's been playing really well this season. Him and Bakayoko in the mid. Those two CDMs, ball winners, box-to-box players, wherever you want to call them. They've been playing really well. I've been impressed with Bakayoko. I feel like Napoli should be, hopefully we can buy him. For me, I feel like he's coming back to his old Serie A stuff. He's been playing really well. Kind of under the radar type of player, which I like a lot. Him and Demme. And Koulibaly was just a monster this game. He got an early yellow card, but he was still making tackles and he was timing them to perfection. The whole team played really well. There was not much of flaws in this game. Everyone played really well. Patania got the goal, which is good to see because he kept missing a few chances against AZ. So it's always nice to see a player bounce back and get a goal. It was just a really wonderful match. We got to focus on Sociedad because this is easily one of the biggest games of the season. If we lose this match, you could kiss our chances at the Europa League knockout stages goodbye. And Napoli need to perform like they can. And this is gonna be the first game at the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona since we renamed it. So hopefully Napoli can play with a little bit more grit and more passion, which they have been. And I'm hoping to see that Argentinian kid again because it seems like when we wear that kit, we're a different side. I don't know if it's something's in the if it's because players are gonna be playing for Maradona or if it's just luck when we wear that kit. But I hope to see that kit because I really like it as a fan, and Napoli play a lot better when they wear that kit. So it was a good overall result. Now I think Napoli are third place or fourth, tie with Juve. I think we're third place now in the official standings. So we got tough matches coming up, especially against Sampdoria. That's going to be a tough game coming off a Europa League. It was a midway Europa League game. It's going to be a tough game. So we got to focus on these two matches, and then we can worry about the rest.
Yeah, well said there, Danny. Napoli, certainly they've been on a run as of late, been performing very well. I believe in their last two Serie A games, they have 8 goals, 0 goals conceded. So
yep.
That's unbelievable. And they're really playing for Maradona. Ooh, I actually got a red card.
Yeah, second yellow from Ryan Gravenberch.
Yeah. Well, I think we covered everything really. We'll be back next week as always, of course. Hopefully we're going to have Atalanta in the Champions League, Inter possibly. We'll have some good news. We'll see. We've got Serie A coming up this weekend, Europa League tomorrow, or today when you guys are listening to it, 'cause it's coming on Thursday. Thank you for listening. Go check out our social media at Six-Side Calcio, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Podcasting platforms, basically everywhere, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all that. So thanks for listening. Talk to you guys next week. Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao guys.